going on, guys? It's Sunday, it's hot, as you can tell. Anyways, today I'm gonna show you guys how to properly grip a board without leaving any air bubbles. Let's do this. Alright, so when you're getting ready to grip your board, you're gonna want a big enough area, smooth area, that you can move your board around so when you file it and you're cutting it. And the two things that you're gonna need is obviously a razor blade, preferably a razor blade. You can use a knife, but it's preferred to use a razor blade. And a screwdriver. Some people do use files to file this down. I prefer a screwdriver because it can be used as a file, and you already have a head that can poke through the grip tape to get your nuts in place. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so we all know the most important thing about gripping a board is making sure the placement of your grip tape is going to cover your whole board and you're not going to be short like on this side or on your toes or tail or anything like that. So what I like to do, take a piece of the grip tape and expose it. Fold this over, crease it up so it doesn't fold back up when you're going to put the grip back on the board. So what I like to do from here is grab both ends of the grip, line it up with the holes on the board where the trucks go, and slide it over. Keep one hand right here in the middle of the board so that way your grip doesn't move, and then take one hand and run it along the board. You want to use your fingers to feel the board and feel how much the grip tape overhangs the board. Once you're good with what you feel, whatever side you like fold it over and expose the grip tape, push it down with your thumb or your hand, whatever, just so you can have like a starting point on your board. And once you have that done, some people like to pull off the whole grip tape and then just grip it like that. Too many air bubbles. I think it's dumb. Even with this is mob grip and it's perforated. Even with mob grip, I've seen guys at skate shops do that. Oh, it's perforated, it has holes, I'm not gonna get any air bubbles. They pull off the whole sheet, slap on the fucking grip tape, use their hand to go over the sheet, and then I've gotten my boards back with air bubbles, and it just throws me off. I hate air bubbles, and the only reason I let some people do it is because I'm kind of alright, let me see if this shop knows how to do grip. Let me see if this shop knows how to do grip. And once I see air bubbles, I do grip myself. I've been doing grip myself for years. It's just sometimes I want to see if anybody else does as good of a job. Not to brag, but as I do. I love the way I do grip. I have a certain way about it. Maybe it's old school, but anyways, let's keep going. So now that you have your grip on the board, on the nose, you can lift this sheet however you want. It doesn't matter because it's going to be in place because now it's stuck over here. So you want to take a little bit of your sheet, pull it back just a little. You want to pull it back in increments, and then you want to start with your hand from the back of the board, as in from where your sheet stopped, or from where you last ran your hand. And you can tell where that is if you're doing it this way, because on your board you're gonna feel a slight bump, and that's just the sheet from where it's creased over. But I like to just run my hand along the grip and kind of just do tiny skips and presses with your hand, so it'll be like this, just so you make sure you have no air bubbles. Even though this grip is perforated, guys have still left air bubbles on it, and that says something. So just take your hand and just keep doing that. Make sure that you always, after you peel the sheet, always start from the last place that you left off. You don't want to start up here because you might leave air bubbles. Just always start from the back of where you left off and push forward. That way the air's coming this way. I understand pulling the sheet back all the way and then just putting the sheet over your grip tape after and going over it with your hand is a lot faster. But to me, it's just a lot less satisfying. Like, it's just so easy. And then on top of that, like, not all your grip tape is gonna be perforated. Like, I know Grizzly isn't perforated unless they've like came out with new grip. Jessup isn't perforated. Fly paper, I think that's what it's called, or fly grip, that's not perforated, at least from what I remember. Ooh, that's hot. It's only hot because of the sun, guys, believe me. I'm not burning myself, it's the heat on the grip that's scorching. But we're almost done here. Once you get like towards the back end of where your like truck's gonna be, pretty much like where your concave is right here, and your tail comes up, you can pretty much just pull off the rest of the paper. Put it off to the side, throw it away, whatever you want to do with it. Hold on to it, use this chimney paper or something, I don't know. But anyways. So that's, the whole board's covered now. The only time I like to put the sheet over the board completely is when I'm fully done, and just to be sure, then I run my hand over it. Because I'm not gonna run my hand like that over the paper and just completely burn myself and just rip my skin off, and nah, that's not gonna happen. So, as you guys can see what I mean by running your fingers along the bottom of the board and see how much space you have? Pretty damn even, right? Been doing this for years. Anyways, so once you have that done, you're gonna want to take your screwdriver or file, whatever it is that you're using. Again, I recommend a screwdriver because you can use it as a file and it's already a tool that you can just poke the holes through the grip to get your screws on. So anyways, just file away at the board. Another little trick about filing, if you don't want to go ahead and use a razor, like once you make the outline, if you don't feel comfortable or you just don't want to use a razor, whatever it is, you can keep filing your grip tape until you pretty much just burn it off. Like, you're just gonna file it away until the grip just burns off, and you can pretty much just pull it off like on its own. But I personally like to use a razor. I just like the way it feels. I like how clean of a job I leave. So I like going over the board at least 2 times, and just go like with a back and forth motion, just to get just to cover as much space as possible, and to kind of burn it. You're not burning it all the way, but you're just making it a lot easier for your blade to cut the grip. So alright, so pretty much your board is gonna look like that, or the outline should look like this. Hopefully you guys can see that. Take your hands and kind of just lift the edges of the grip up. I personally just don't like when the board is when the grip is folded over the board, and you just don't get like you don't get as clean of a cut as you should, because you have grip tape that's like hanging over, and it just makes for a horrible job. So I like to just kind of lift the edges up so that it's not too stuck to the board. And then you're gonna take your razor blade. Some people have different ways of cutting. Some people cut one line here, one line here, one line here, and one line here. I personally don't do that. Some people do one line and cut the whole thing. Again, I personally don't do that either. What I like to do, take the blade, make a cut at the nose, or tail, whatever section it is, does whatever. We don't know right now. We're just cutting the grip. And then one on the other end. Start on either end, whatever side you want. Alright, so once you have your cuts, how I like to do this I like to angle my board this way. I'll place one hand over my board right here, and with this hand, I'll just go ahead and start cutting. But considering that I'm probably not gonna have a lot of space to cut right here, I'm gonna put this over to the side just so I can get better way of cutting. Anyways, here we go. There's one. Let me show you guys how that turned out. See that? That is a clean cut. Clean cut. Before you start the other side again, just pick your grip tape up just a little bit so it's not hanging off the side too much and you get an easier cut. Again, one hand over the board, it just makes it a lot easier. Take your blade. The one bad thing about grip tape. That's what I mean by taking your hand and lifting up the edges. Because as you guys saw right there, when I came to the nose, the grip caught onto my thumb. And that's because it was folded over too much. But here is the other side. I'd say that's pretty damn clean. And then you guys can see where it meets, right there, where the two cuts are supposed to be. You can slightly tell. I mean, if you really pay attention, you can tell where the two cuts are. But I mean, if you just glance at it, there's practically no difference. The same thing here. You can see right here, this little niche. Obviously, that's because you're starting a new cut. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be perfect, but it's damn near perfect. Anyways, as you guys can see, no air bubbles. So the last thing you're going to want to do, go back to your screwdriver. This is what I mean by using the screwdriver is better than the file. Take your screwdriver, poke holes through the grip. What I like to do is I take my two middle fingers and I place it above the hole. I kind of just take a guess as to where it's gonna be and push the screwdriver through. That's so it doesn't allow the surrounding grip tape around this hole to lift and potentially cause air bubbles. That's why I like to do that. And do that with every single hole. Don't just do it with like 2 or 3 or 1. Do it with all of them. You don't want to have a shitty board. So you guys can see right there, I poked the holes through. Now, take your finger, push the grip back into that hole. This is so you get a clean, I guess you can say, hole for your screw. So that way you just don't have a bunch of like grip tape going in there. And if you don't do this properly, you can have leftover grip tape on here. And then when you go to screw on your nuts and bolts, it doesn't come out looking right. Go over with the screwdriver. I like to put the tip and then just kind of turn it a little bit just to kind of like file down that excess grip tape. Push it through a few times. Go over with your fingers, see if you have any excess like grip tape hanging over. As you guys can see right there, it's pretty clean, right? You're gonna have like the excess grip tape on the bottom side. Just wipe that off. smacked it just due to excess grip tape that got stuck in the holes out. But anyways, if you're done with your blade, throw it away or seal it back up so you don't cut yourself or anyone else gets cut. And there's our board, guys. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's a pretty damn clean cut. I just love gripping boards so much. There's no air bubbles. It's nice to see your own work, you know what I mean? And I think that's just what I really like, is just seeing my own work on the thing that I'm passionate about. So that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That'll greatly help me out. If you guys want to see any other videos, any more how-tos, or just anything skateboarding in general, just let me know, guys. And I will catch you guys later.